Hello and welcome to this short video on a very small part of the new release of DaVinci Resolve 18.1. It's a massive upgrade from what I can gather. As I said previously, I'm very new to this particular application and I understand this is one of their larger updates. There are 9 pages of updates, and one in particular which took my eye is the new voice isolation, which is powered by their neural engine, their magic as it were, and in particular the new dialogue leveler for natural smooth audio. It sounds like a coffee advert, but that's what they describe it as. So I just want to have a look at it in the context of how I might use it and see where it might be useful. So let's go over to the software and have a look and see how that goes. Hello and welcome to this introduction to the voice isolation and dialogue leveler tools within DaVinci Resolve. These are 2 new tools that have come out, I think, in version 18.1. I'm new to this particular application and I'm in the process of learning it. And these look like one of the most interesting, or 2 of the most interesting tools that are available to use, and I thought I'd have a quick look. So I'm on the learning curve of this, so forgive me if I don't quite get it right. I'll just go with what I've learned so far and demonstrate it. It exists in 2 places. It exists, as far as I know anyway, in 2 places: in the edit, and it's in the inspector part here. If you're in this mode or whatever mode you're in, just switch to the inspector part and you will see it here. Voice isolation and dialogue leveler. It also exists within the Fairlight part of it as well too. Now when you go here you don't see this. I notice it's not immediately available, certainly wasn't in my configuration. So if you click on here and switch on track effects, you can see them there. It's a 2-stage level tool. One is actually switching it on, which here you click on that and that will enable it, and that's for the voice isolation. And if you click that, and that will level it. The right hand side will bring on the actual adjustments you can have with that, and the same here with the leveler. That will bring on those adjustments. We'll talk about them in a minute. These are paralleled as far as I know. I'm going to switch them off here. These are paralleled in also the edit part. So I'll use this in the edit part. And I've got a couple of clips here which I just did this morning on my walk, and I just tried to capture a little bit of wind noise and traffic background noise to give you some idea of the capability of that. So the first tool I look at is the voice isolation tool. It's really the daddy of all extracting tools for voice anyway, and it does this essentially by nuking the background track with maybe some marginal loss in the quality of the voice. But I think it's one of those things that you would use whereby the voice was important, background wasn't, and the circumstances were necessary to withdraw the voice out. So let's have a quick listen of this little sample here.
There to do that, although there will be cars passing, and so I can test that. You can hear the wind noise and going past. So there's a couple of cars. That's a good example there, where a few cars are passed, and I'll see how it suppresses that. And also there's wind, and the wind is capable of causing a lot of background noise. And as it stands now, I'm getting plenty of cars. So that's basically it.
Okay, so that's essentially it. Obviously, you get the best out of this kind of thing by having headphones on as well too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch on the voice isolation tool, and I can define the amount I want. It's on 100% now, and if I play it at 100%, it will actually the voice will sound a bit strange. I must admit.
There to do that, although there will be cars passing, and so I can test that.
So you can see it's withdrawn all the background noise, but I think there's a trade-off in there in terms of the quality of the voice. This is all AI driven, so I have no idea how this works, but it's obviously very clever. Some would say it's magic. So I've just reduced now the amount of isolation just to improve the voice, and let's see if it affects the background.
Do that, although there will be cars passing, and so I can test that. You can hear the wind noise and going past. So there's a couple of cars. That's a good example there.
And I hadn't put that on the next clip as well, so you can see how that affects that. So that is it's a very sort of single shot by defining how much you want. Probably about 60 maybe is probably an optimum one, I'd say.
Do that, although there will be cars passing, and so I can test that. You can hear the wind noise
I think there's a lot of gain in terms of how the quality of the voice from 100%, and from the point of view of background noise, it's minimized. So let me just take that off and now look at the voice, the dialogue leveler. I've not really got a good example of that, but basically with that one, there is a slightly more refinement in that. So let me switch this on, and you can see you can optimize the sources by having more lift for low levels and lift for soft and whispery voices. Haven't got a good example of that at the moment, but what I'll do is I'll just run this as is and see how it goes. And notice you can have background reduction or lift and soft dialogue unreduced. So you can select what is optimally the best there. Let's have a listen to this as it is on. I'll just, is that on? I'm on that clip. So I've introduced the second clip. So let's have a listen to that.
The cars, that's a good example there, where a few cars have passed, and I'll see how it suppresses that. And also there's wind, and the wind.
Not a great example clip for it has dropped the voice down. So this is a very useful tool. The place I would actually use this is for uploading to YouTube. YouTube, I think, has a habit of suppressing high voice, loud dialogue, and it'll bring it down. But if you've got some low dialogue, it doesn't actually bring it up. So you can get a position where you've brought the high down and left the low as is, and you get that kind of disparity in the levels of dialogue. So this is a very useful tool for actually creating your dialogue levels to be precise with YouTube, and it will optimize it to the best. YouTube will do its usual thing, but you're going to get the best out of YouTube with that, and I guess that's what that's for. Both of them use, as I say, artificial intelligence, and there is a modicum of playing with it. With all these tools, it's just a case of actually getting in there and having a go to see how it works. So that's all I want to talk about this for now. Thanks for staying to the end, and I hope that's been useful, and bye for now.